Aloha, and welcome to another dose of positivity. I'm so excited to introduce our special guest today to you, Alejandro Bratti. And before we get started, I want to also thank all of you who came today to the live presentation, and for everybody who is listening to the replays. We really value your comments and your feedback and any love and light and positivity that you bring to the world. Anything about holistic health, nature therapy, and how to live like the future matters is welcome on the show. And if you know of any other positive, amazing people who would like to be a guest on the show, we're starting to take guests for the spring and the summer. Kim Hambright. Wow, Kim, welcome. Wow, so good to see you. So before we get started, and as more people come in, I just wanted to take this time to do a reading from my book, Living Like the Future Matters. And as you know, will put in the link. You can read the first 70 pages of the book for free. And if you like it, I can either send you a free ebook, but if you also want to support our kind of nonprofit, we appreciate when you purchase the books. But this is a very, very special conversation that we're going to be having today about uplifting ourselves, not just in our daily lives, but in our career, and having a purposeful passion for what we do for our livelihood. And this book, when I wrote it, Living Like the Future Matters, it's about my journey. It's kind of a memoir of sorts. It's the evolution of a soul-to-soul entrepreneur, which we're going to kind of be touching upon today. So I thought it was appropriate to read this from the book. This is in cycle 7, Taking Root. An anchor of strength supports intentions. An anchor of strength supports intentions. The root system of a tree or any plant provides the stem and the leaves with water and dissolves minerals. The roots must grow into new regions of the soil to perform their functions: absorption, aeration, food storage, and anchorage for support. When rooted, a plant can bud, it can bloom, it can fruit. Like trees, we must root deeply, firmly, and spread out to grow. When we absorb the right nutrients and we are rooted in a supportive environment, we can develop into the best versions of ourselves. Building something meant to last. To be supportive, you have to have your heart in your business and your business in your heart. That is a quote by Sir Thomas Watson. So, this is a section in the book where I am transcending, and I don't know if you can all see this picture, but that's me when I was 25 and I started my first business, actually my second one. I saw an opportunity to help transform the unethical food service industry, and I was prepared to act. I got into the food business with the notion that nourishment is our lifeline and that our bodies are the temple for our souls. Food is beyond just taste. Food unites us in ritual, in tradition, and is something holy that comes from the bounty of the earth. Somehow this way of thinking was being lost, and I had my heart set to preserve it, even though the odds were against me. Right now, when we're all looking at doing transformation in a world that seems topsy-turvy, myself, Alfonso, are here to share with you how important it is to be rooted in our truth and our passions, and to look beyond the fear and motivate ourselves to do what we were put here to do on this beautiful Mother Earth. So I'm going to give this gentleman a proper introduction, and then I would love to invite all of you on the call to please put any comments where you are, anything that's fearful or maybe blocking you from the next chapter in your life, no matter what age you are. Some of the people on the call are in their 20s, and some in their 60s, and even some in their 70s. Why? Retire when we can inspire. And if you know me, you know that is one of my taglines. So today we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn how to grow, and we're going to take these fears that are stopping us to become our best version. And as you all know, on this program, it all comes back to building our immune systems, comes back to building the microbiome in our guts and in the Mother Earth and in our minds. So Alejandro, who you see in that beautiful pink shirt, is extremely motivated about helping business owners achieve success while avoiding the trap of becoming a slave to money and losing the connection with the most important people in your life. He's going to share with us today his best proven strategies to grow a business and a life in a sustainable way, creating a path for success without compromising your personal life. Alejandro believes that everyone has unlimited potential. When you connect yourself with your source and start to realize your purpose on earth, you are unstoppable. Bingo, I agree with you. As a professional and a business owner, he has lived in more than 15 countries and now living in Mexico, right? You're in Mexico City, right? Becoming a multicultural and diversified and a diversity expert. He has 2 master's degrees, 4 coaching certifications, and 20 years of experience in 15 countries. He has managed projects ranging from $2 million to $600 million. Wow. He is a go-to specialist in understanding multicultural issues, optimizing processes, and to get more leads, improving conversion rates, which increases your revenue and your profit and your life energy source. His training has allowed him to create balanced success, profits, and creating the awareness of a better life, and have the experience to implement these strategies in life and business. So if you're ready to grow further, you're ready to grow faster, then you are in the right place today. And I just want to welcome you so much to A Dose of Positivity. And please introduce yourself in the truest form of who you are and the magnificence of how you and I met over health.
There was a little one that wanted to say hey here, but thank you, Mama Donna, for today and that introduction. And really thank you everyone for being here. I would love to know if you can put your cameras on, that it's easier to speak even when we are like connected from different countries and different places. So if you can put your camera, that will be amazing. I think that we will feel like what I want to do here today is, oh, hey Kim, hey Beverly. I want to connect with you and try to have a conversation. This is a conversation more than anything else. So a quick question that I have for you, how many of you are looking to create a business or already have a business? Sophie? Mama Donna? Somebody else like looking to have some business in the future, in the near future, or not? Just to know, I want to feel if it's in the area right now or not. Okay, I have been in business, not only as an employee also and as a business owner, and really I have very special connection with with all the things that Mama Donna is always teaching, especially in the health industry, because I know from my experience, my own experience, what happens when you try to follow all the. Sometimes I say that medicine is more focused on the area of sickness more than in the area of health. So that for me that it's important. One question that I have, and it doesn't matter if you have a business or not, but how many of you would like to have your life and the areas in your life going further, faster? How many do you think like, okay, yes, I want to have things that I want? Okay, Kim, Beverly, great. Sophie with the 2 hands, that's amazing. Rasilia too. And sometimes we think like, okay, I want that, but I don't know how. And there is a lot of issues that I have that I don't understand what things are not going on. I am working hard. I am trying to do everything. Everything is like okay, or I am doing all the work and nothing is happening, or maybe it's not happening exactly the way you thought. One thing that I have been studying a lot is, and I like a lot, is studying the brain and how that works. When you start to understand that there is a conscious and subconscious, and also that we are being programmed all the time, that is, sometimes we don't like to be said that we are being programmed, and no, I am not in a matrix, and that is not good. I don't want to be told that. But the reality is that every day that you are listening to something, you are here, you are listening to some things, you are being programmed in a way. There are some things that are happening in your life that is being like, okay, you are understanding from one way, and even I am telling you something, and Sophie is understanding one thing, Beverly is understanding another thing, Kim is understanding differently, just because everybody has had a different life. And the experiences that you had in the past, like you started, okay, when he's talking like that, it's because of this, or maybe he's not focusing on me, or Brasilia is thinking like, okay, why he didn't mention me? And like we have those type of things, like thinking like what is happening and what is happening in the middle of this conversation. And Mama Donna right now is like, hey, well, he didn't mention me. Like, what happened now? And suddenly when you are like this, it's because we are being programmed, and we are programming ourselves from the conscious to the subconscious. Sometimes we don't know what is being written in ourselves, and sometimes we know, and we are doing it that on purpose. And one thing is, the first thing that I would like to know is what are the things that affect you in the past that maybe are affecting you right now. Sometimes I love to share stories. I love to connect with the stories. The things that I will teach you today were something that the first time that I started to teach them, I was like, oh, this is amazing. This was great. And the people that were listening to me were like, oh, Alejandro, I love it. I connected. This was great. I really wanted to listen to that. Until I was at night, and I want to tell you like quickly, do you know what is neuroencoding? Have you heard about that, neuroencoding? Let me put it in the chat, just because sometimes the word is so. Neuroencoding.
Neuroencoding. So tell us the story behind neuroencoding.
Okay, neuroencoding is the process of quickly changing how you think so that you automatically default to your best behavior and feeling. What that means is that, for example, I can be telling you like, okay, yeah, everything fine, Alejandro is already well, everything is perfect, and suddenly my little kid come here and start to tell me, oh, Papa, I want something, and I need this, and I this, and I this, and I am like, I don't have time for you right now, I have to be in this meeting, and he like, but I want to do it, And suddenly he triggers something in me that instead of me like, okay, come, what do you need? I'm going to work with you. Let's go with your mama. Something like very easy. I can be like, why are you here? I need like to work here. I don't need to be like distracted right now. So sometimes those triggers are things that we're programmed in ourselves. And suddenly that changes the mood of the meeting today. And I am like, I don't know what I was going to tell because now I am distracted because of my kid. So that is a simple example that can happen with your husband, with another person, your dad, whatever. Like there is a person that always, like when they tell you something, it's like, I don't know why you always say that. Like, what is like that? Or when you are in business, you know, and that's why I was asking also if you were in business. When you are in business, that is like magnified. It's amplified like X times, like sometimes because you need to be like yourself outside and you need to be like finding other areas. So what Neuroencoding does is we start to find what are the best behaviors that you have, what is your best version as a person. And from there, we start to acknowledge that and work to change all the areas in your life to be that best version, not the worst one. So when you start to be triggered by something, instead of be triggered by something that you are angry and suddenly your day is bad because of that situation, you can respond the best possible way, and then you can connect and do your best behavior. And when you are like that, your business is going to be the best, the thing that you are going are the best, and everything. So you are going to ask me, okay, that's nice, Alejandro, that is perfect, but how that helped me? You know, I need to understand how that could help me. We found that there is 7 things that are the ones that are like the most important things to understand how to avoid or how to improve in order, and they are the stealers of our greatness. They are trying to steal like your happiness. They want to steal everything that is happening in your life. So from them, the first one, Imposter Syndrome. What is Imposter Syndrome? Is when Beverly is trying to talk here and maybe she's thinking like, no, these guys are too big. I can be talking with you. Like, I don't know why I want to be here just like without putting my camera or something. Or I can be saying like, oh no, but Mama Donna has been doing this for 30 years. Why I will be doing this, talking here if that is bigger than me? That is the imposter syndrome, that we are thinking that we are less than what we really are. And that is affecting us and stop us to be ourselves, like, because suddenly we think like, oh no, I am not exactly the best version of the best person that can be talking here. There is other people that is better.
I'm not good enough, or, you know, I'm better than thee. And instead of really looking at who, just as people, like really like looking into the camera, you know, I'm looking in and I'm seeing all of you, seeing you for who you are right now, and meeting each other at a place of grace rather than disgrace or feeling like I'm better than the human race. I love to rhyme, you know? So it's like finding that balance, right, of who we truly are and how we can best serve, basically, rather than worrying about this or that, right? That's pretty much what I feel like that sums it up for me right there. Or
imposter syndrome is also when something is bigger than me. Like I feel like I am trying to explain something that I am not exactly the best version right now. So I think like, okay, I can be talking with a business owner because they are making $2 million right now, and I am trying to start my business. So I have the imposter syndrome that this guy is already making $2 million. Why I'm going to speak with him and teach him? Why I'm going to be his coach? There is no way I can be that coach because he has done $2 million and I am doing 0 right now. for example. So
and you can also take that on your health thing too, like that person, has 36, 24, 36 figure, but I'm super healthy and I'm chubby. So do I want to look like that person who maybe have the perfect body and maybe they don't feel as good as me and I'm chubby? So trying to it's like a lot of times it comes down to just being forgiving myself and accepting who I am at that time or all the time. And I don't think I did that it took me years to figure that out, to feel like I had to be something else in order to get attention somewhere else. And even you find that in your own family dynamics, I think, wouldn't you say?
The most important thing, and I thank you for that, Mama Donna, really the most important thing here is to understand that we don't need to compare to others. And when we are comparing to others, in that moment, we are losing. If you want to compare with something, it's compare with yourself. Who you were 2 weeks ago, who you were 2 months ago, who you were 2 years ago, and suddenly you are going to say like, wow, I have been progressing a lot. I am a different person. This is amazing. I am great. I can be talking with them and we are equals. Like, it doesn't matter that he has $2 million in his business, but I have a lot of other things that maybe he doesn't have and he needs. And that's why I want to be working with him. So that is part of the imposter syndrome. And that is something that sometimes is huge for us as people, like as a person. We are like, no, I am not going to talk with them because of that. That freezes us and we stop to be ourselves. So that's one. The second one, procrastination. Procrastination is as simple as I can have 10 things to do, and I decide that I do the easiest ones, but because the hardest ones are going to be done later. I don't have time for them, and I need like to focus on them. And you do that every day, and you know that those are the ones that are going to change your life and everything that you are going through. But no, let's do these little ones because I want to progress. I am progressing. I am doing a lot of things. I am growing. But you are not doing the important things because you focus on the little things because you need to get rid of a couple of things that you have to do right now. And suddenly you see that all your life you are very busy being busy, but not really doing the thing that you are supposed to be doing. And that is procrastination. Sometimes we say, the problem is that I have ADHD, I have ADD, I have all those things. And I was said that I will never do that. Really, that is a stealer for your greatness. That is a stealer of who you, when you want to become that person that is like ready to succeed in your life, you need to start to stop doing the little things and start to do the important things, the things that are going to change your game in your life, in your business, in everything that you are doing.
I just want to jump in here on this procrastination thing because this is so relevant to what's happening. Like a lot of times we procrastinate on the things that that are so important but so hard to address because the reality is hard to digest. Meaning, I'm going on Medicare next month, and to fill out the Medicare forms, I would much rather email or go pick weeds than do that. Like, just our driveway has a big hole in it and it only gets deeper and deeper, but we don't want to hear the noise of the tractor. But as we're waiting, the problems get bigger and we become, the procrastination gets us nowhere but deeper, it's often in debt. When we don't get back to somebody who's reached out to us and they know we know that we could be helping them, but for our own, there's other things that get in the way of that, when really the best thing to do rather than procrastinate on it, it just takes a second to respond back to somebody and just say, hey, I love you. I will get back to you as soon as I can. And then you do, but it gives you that time rather than, oh my God, I should have at least, how many should haves that do we do to ourselves each and every day that digs us deeper into a hole and into a rut, and then we end up in imposter syndrome because of that. So,
and I would love to ask a question here. For example, and here is a space where we are like safe, like there is no problem if you say like we have that. So how many of you feel, and you can put it in the chat, that you have some type of procrastination in some area of your life? me. And really, why I ask that question, because sometimes with those type of things, we are like, I am the worst. I am very bad because I am procrastinating always. I know that what Alejandro is saying, and I am doing that. But really, if you see at least all the ones that had the video on, they were like, yeah, I am there.
I'm going on a diet tomorrow.
And that's something that everybody has. It's not like, I am not the only one. And sometimes when you start to see that you are not the only one, it's like, okay, you can start to work on that. You don't have to feel like you are the only one, but you can start to take action on that. And that's part of the neuroencoding. How to start to program yourself to be your best version is how to stop those things that are stopping you to be that amazing person.
And stop blaming others for your procrastination, because that is really the worst thing we do to ourselves in our relationships, because it's always easy to blame something or someone else.
The most important thing to take here is we need to have responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
If we have responsibility, we have to have responsibility about ourselves, the thing that we are doing. And when we start to do that, we avoid like putting like pointers like everyone, yeah, that's the fault of him or the other person. And suddenly everybody has the problem, but not you. Responsibility is even the problem that others create around you. It's because you did something that you can improve, and you can change, and you can take the ownership to say like, I will do something. The third one is hesitation.
What is it?
Hesitation.
Oh, hesitation? Is that different than procrastination?
Hesitation is like, I want to do this, or I start to do this. No, better the other one. And you are hesitating between 2, 3, 5 different things at the same time. So the problem with hesitation is they are stopping you. Like you can decide, and you are like, yeah, I want to start the business, but I don't have the money to do it. I have to start to be healthy, but I will start on Monday. I want to start to be doing exercise, but maybe tomorrow, because today I'm tired. Let's see the other week, and you are like hesitating all the time, like, do it or not? Yes, I think that it's good for me, but maybe not right now. And you are always like thinking like that. That's another issue. And I will start with the fears right now. There is a fear of failure. That is something also big. When we have that fear of failure, like I was always like, I am not going to start my business because I'm going to fail. So I already failed just by thinking that.
Right. I'm not going to write that book, or I'm not going to make that Afghan for my granddaughter because it's going to take too long, or I'm never going to get it done in time. Whatever, it doesn't have to be big or small, but give us a little bit of distinction between hesitation and procrastination. I'm kind of lost in the two definitions there.
Hesitation is when I have 2, 3, 5 different options, I start to jump in one and the other, and don't decide anything. I am in the middle. Procrastination is I start to do some things, little things, but not the important things.
Oh, gotcha. Mm-hmm.
I start to be busy, and then I can say that I am not hesitating. I am focused on these things. but really you are just being busy, not really doing what you are supposed to be doing.
And when we hesitate, oftentimes it's because I think of lack of confidence or that fear you talked about. And I love Roselle as she's talking about, we have to experience to grow. Not only that, but that, it's that fear of success too. That is
another one. We are going to get there, and that is another one. And it's different from the fear of failure, because fear of failure is I don't want to do this right now because I will fail. I am thinking that I will fail, so why start if I will fail? For example, in my case, when I was a teenager, I didn't want to speak to a woman, even when I was like so in love, and I don't want to speak with them because they are going to tell me no. So I was failing since the beginning. I was thinking like they're going to say to me, no, Alejandro, no, I don't want to be with you. And I didn't want to have that. That starts to be part of fear of rejection. That is another one. But fear of failure, I am not going to start to write that book also, like Donna was saying, because why people will listen or read something that I will write, So suddenly those fears starts to stop you. Fear of rejection is you want to sell something. Yeah, but why I'm going to call these guys? For example, I started to do my business to connect with a lot of people in LinkedIn. And the first thing that I was doing at the beginning is like, okay, I have to find people alike because they have to be like me. So they are going to connect with me. And it's the only way that I can start to sell. If suddenly I receive like an invitation, I connect with a person that has, for example, 30,000 followers. Why they are going to hear me if I only have 1,000? I am not big enough to be speaking with him.
I'm not worthy.
Or I am not worthy. Or I start to see, like, for example, I am starting my business in this area. Why I will be teaching this guy that are already a big company that is having 100 employees with them. No, I can talk with them. I am not good talking with them because they are going to reject me. So I am the person in the middle. If you see like that, it's not like they are telling me no to me. I already told no to me. Like I didn't even accept it.
Didn't even try. But I love this one, fear of success in myself. I think that's a common problem that I have. And I have an old story about that, but I'll tell it at the end if we have time. But I know that is a big one, fear of success, right? So like there's a lot of people out there, that, fame and glory and money isn't necessarily what success is. So redefining what success and wealth is makes it easier not to be so fearful of success, because someone else's identity of what success is maybe not what aligns with you. And that's where the fear comes in. If success is happiness and spreading love and joy and consciousness and being a caring human on this planet, then you're successful. And I know some of the people on this call who might be thinking, oh, I'm not successful, but you are successful more so than someone might have all the money and all the bells and whistles who might be extremely unhappy. So,
fear of success is the next one, and that is huge. It's the third fear. The first one is fear of failure. The second one, fear of rejection, and the third one, fear of success. For me, that is the most difficult one to understand and to see, the fear of success, because it's very like subtle. Like you don't see it very easily, and it's in front of you, but you don't understand what is happening. In my case, for example, when I was like preparing myself for my business, I am always learning, always like looking for the next step, next thing that I need to learn. And when I was with that, like, okay, what is the fear of success? It was like, I was like learning one important topic that I was like, this is amazing. I am learning this process. But at the same time, I had a customer that I was asking me, I need you to work with me and I want to speak with you in these areas. And I am like, yeah, but right now, wait. I don't want to speak with you right now because I know that if I start to speak with you, you are going to become my customer and I need to finish this study that I am doing. And that was something that I was doing for myself. I was like always like looking for excuses to not grow in the areas that I was doing. And that's part of the fear of success. Like there is something that you know that is going to change your game, but that is also going to change the status quo that you have right now. The thing that you are doing right now, that you are like very used to continue doing the same things. And you know what happens? Your subconscious always starts to say like, no, you are right. You have to continue studying because that is more important than talking and helping others. It's more important that you become the best version because then you are going to help them better. And you are in that type of communication inside of you. And suddenly the real problem is that you have fear of success.
And I think the real problem is redefining, in addition to what you're saying, Alejandro, is that we really have been it goes back to that neurocoding where we are told what success is. And as we move through this 21st century and we see what's happening with this world war, whatever's happening on between a virus and the endemic corruption that's all around us, I think most of us are all in a way. I know the people who are listening to this who come to a dose of positivity, this is where we come to redefine what success and wealth means. This is where we come to realize that to connect with each other. All of you on this call, I encourage you even to just chat and connect with each other, because we are in a terrific, the most opportune time in the world to redefine that, to bring that consciousness and of kind of like the secret, right? The magnets, how we're coming together. Do you have your magnets there by any chance? Yeah, I would love to, you'll get to that. But so I really, really encourage each of you to really hear what this brilliant man has to say, because he has been able to rise above. I mean, he reached out to me, but he reaches out to all these other people, and he's been able to create not only incredible living, but he has helped shift these big companies and these big people's mindsets to be more powerful, more productive, more loving, and more courageous in making a better business and with their lives. And by the way, it's your business what you do with your life. So everything's life. Everything in life is business. And I just wanted to just kind of to put everything into context so we can get past hesitation and get on to the next thing. But since the Ice Age, there's nothing that's changed the world faster than business. And it's ethical businesses and business people with the moral courage that have the ability and the responsibility to turn things around the fastest. And again, it is your business what you do with your life. Every time there's an exchange, it's business. This conversation is business. And we are stepping up with the moral courage to bring this conversation forward, whether we're helping someone make $200 million or $2. What they're going to do with that money is where it's at. And that's why the two of you, that's why we met each other, right?
Yes.
And that is why I'm so honored that you're here. So I think you, Roselle, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something now, honey?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Alejandro, I don't know if that's
how you... that's fine.
All right, awesome. I wanted to ask you, when you recognized that you were avoiding yourself and well, that also in the other person, like that fear of success. What did you do once you recognized that part of yourself? What did you do to work with that part of you?
We are going to get there in a minute.
Okay.
I want to share about the 7 things first, so you start to see, and from there I'm going to even give you an example of what happened with me with that, and that's the story that I was going to tell you, and also these little magnets to understand better what even Donna is saying, because we are magnets. We are, what is the most important energy in this world? The biggest one is magnetism. We are being attracted to the earth. The earth is moving all the time, and that is part of what is happening in us. We are energy. Everybody's energy. That is exactly how it works. So right now I am giving you the stealers to identify that. And from there, we are going to go a little bit of how I manage that. And I started to connect with that. But the most important thing, Rastilla, right now is to understand, okay, I have this. So you know that when you have that, you are moving that from the unconscious to the conscious. And when it's in the conscious part, you can start to do something about it. You can start to be like, no, I'm going to start to do something, because if I stop or I continue doing the same, something is stealing my best version. Something is stealing what I'm going to be. And that is exactly the reason to be here today is exactly to help you on that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of things come from my subconscious to my conscious lately, a lot of stuff, and it's like, wow, like it's so, like, even in pure silence I can hear like such a strong belief come from like nowhere, and I know it's something it's a reflection of things that I believed for so long, and now I feel like you telling me to bring it to, now that it's in my conscious awareness, this is my ability to, like, decompose it, get rid of it, change it.
There is exactly. That is exactly what we need, and that is the process. The other thing is, you have it there, and you don't think, like, if you have been doing that like the last 20 years, for example, you can say that in one day that is changed, and that is something that always happens. Like when we are conscious about something, is like, just to give you an example, a very simple example. Last year, at the beginning of last year, I was with a dentist, and he told me, you have a problem with your teeth. And I had my teeth like very like moved, and he told me, do you know what is the problem? And I was like, yeah, I know exactly what is the problem. They are exactly like his owner. That means that I am like, I want to do whatever I want, and I want to be like free. So my teeth are free also, and they want to move however they want. And I was thinking like that was the reason. And the dentist told me, oh, no, the problem really in your mouth is that you are doing something like this. And I didn't know that, but I didn't know where to put my tongue. And I was always thinking that my tongue doesn't have a place in the mouth. Like, I can be playing with my teeth all the time, and that is fine, and that is okay. But the reality is that the tongue has to be here at the top of your mouth. That is the place during the day, all the time, has to be there. And when it's there, it's even touching a point in your body that is going to help you to be better. But I didn't know that, and I was always playing with my teeth. And of course, if I am playing with my teeth with my tongue, then they are moving and they are not staying in the place that they have to be. So that is the first thing what you told me. Okay, now I am aware that I have to be taking care of where is my tongue to understand. But that is not something that happens in one day. The thing that I needed to do for the next 1 month at least I put a reminder in my cell phone 3 times per day. And the reminder was, where is your tongue?
And it worked.
As simple as that. Where is your tongue? And I was like, oh, yeah, I have to remember. It has to be here at the top. The next day. And it was 1 month thinking about that. And I even right now, even at night, when I am waking up, it's like, okay, where is my tongue? Oh, yeah, it's in the place, you know? But when I realized that, I started to have my teeth in the place that they have to be. They can be fixed, and everything starts to be better. So just to give you an example of how it works when you are conscious. Sometimes we think like, oh, I'm conscious, but nothing is happening, nothing is working. What is happening here? No, you are conscious. Now you start to know what is the best thing that you have to do. What is the best thing that you can do with what you know right now? For example, if you want to share here.
Well, if we're talking about a thought that I would have that, like saying like a thought like, oh, I hate myself, you know, this thought would come. And what I could do is acknowledge that. Does that make sense? Do I believe that? And then kind of like acknowledge like, that's not the case. I do love myself, and where's that thought coming from? And realizing that it wasn't mine. It's not from me. It didn't originate from me. I picked it up and I believed it. It was almost like just like any other habit of thought. Everybody else around you kind of feeds it to you, and you learn to believe it. And I just realized that I'm the one that was perpetuating the thought. Like I was confirming it, and I was like showing myself like, yeah, this is what I was believing. And once I realized that I don't want to believe it, I just said, I just let it go now. And then, you know, I say like, I love myself, you know, and that I'm divine.
But you are doing exactly what you need to do to change that. Okay, challenge that thinking, that thought, and put a good one. You are telling me what to do. You are taking, okay, this I hate myself. The first thing, you challenge that. Is that true? No, that is not true. The second one, what is true? You start to talk about the truth. And with that, you start to change. The problem really with the subconscious is that the subconscious doesn't know what is true and what is not true. They just gather the information. So if you are thinking something like, I hate myself, and you continue thinking about that, your subconscious is going to start to give you, yeah, that is right. You hate yourself because you this and this and this and this and this. And your subconscious will give you all the idea to tell you, yes, you are true. You are right because you hate yourself. Look at this and this and this and this. And suddenly it's like, oh, you see, I hate myself.
I actually found that it was, what was it? What's the word? I wouldn't say, dang, I forgot it. It came to me yesterday. Oh, self-sabotage.
Yeah. Well, that's like, you know, it's sort of like one thing I wanted to add to that. Like, it's like in your gut microbiome, we have 80% healthy microbes, virus, bacteria, protozoas, all living in our gut or in the soil. And there's always like a 20% ratio where it's maybe the not so good, which kind of gets you're always can keep your defense up. That's part of the antibodies or part of keeping you strong and resilient. And it's like, we're all going to have a negative thought. Like there's plenty of days where I wake up or have parts of my day too, where I don't absolutely love myself. But that's when that strength comes up. And that's where we just have to have enough healthy thoughts, enough conscious thoughts about ourselves to realize when those come up, because then we have empathy. And without empathy, we have no humanity. And when we have empathy, we help other people, and we can appreciate when someone like you comes in and is vulnerable and can say, you know, there's times when these things creep into me where I'm nothing, or I don't love myself, or life sucks. So it's really good to be able to express that and come together like this. So can we move on, because we really only supposedly have 10 minutes left and we're only on hesitation. So, but this is so helpful to have your comments coming in through the chat, and also Razel, for you to just coming on and sharing that, because that was some really good juicy stuff and I'm so grateful. So yes,
we have the last one, because fear of success is the one that we already talked, and the last one is self-doubt. And it's a little, because hesitation is about like things that are outside you, and self-doubt is inside of you. Okay, you are like, I have a self-doubt. I think that I can do it. I think that I am not able. I think that I don't have it. I think that I can, like anything. So the story that I was going to tell you with that is, I was thinking like, the first time that I started to talk about that, and they are the thieves of our lives, they are going to take everything from you. I was thinking like, oh, the first time that I shared that, I shared it like with 4 people that I was coaching, and they were like, oh, this is amazing, Alejandro, you are growing, you helped me to grow with these ideas and everything. And at night I was like, even with my wife, telling her like, okay, today was amazing, I love it, I shared this and this thing that I was learning, and really I rocked. Everything was fine, everything was perfect. I went to sleep at night, and at 2 a.m. I woke up like sweating. In front of me I had like a big giant, something big in front of me, telling me, Alejandro, I don't know why you are telling about these 7 thieves if you have them, the 7. And when I'm talking to you, I am saying that you can have 1, you can have 2, you can have 3 maybe, but I am not saying that you have the 7. And that that giant in front of me is telling me, Alejandro, you have the 7 at the same time. And at that time I was like, oh my God, that's why nothing is working right now. That's why I am a loser. That's why, and I start to have all these comments like Rasija was saying, like, I am a failure, and I start to
self-doubt,
to have all the self-doubt, hesitation, like everything at the same time. And really, when I had that experience, the next 3 days, I was sick, completely sick. And one thing that I went to a chiropractor on Friday. Everything happened on Monday. And when I was in that with that chiropractor, she told me, what happened, Alejandro? Because she saw that something happened in my body, and she told me, what happened? I was like, okay, are you going to help me with a massage or something, or are you going to help me with my mind? I was not expecting that at that moment. And she asked me, what happened? I told her, okay, this happened this week. I was doing this, and suddenly I had the 7 things, so I couldn't do anything the rest of the week because I was suffering with all the issues in my head at the same time. And I was even sick. I was feeling like I had like COVID or something like that, like very bad. I didn't have COVID, but even my body was expressing that. And she told me, and what did you do with that? And I was like, nothing. I can say like acknowledge, like, yeah, they are there, but what else to do? How I change? Like CJ is saying, like, yeah, of course I want to do something, but I don't know exactly what to do. I have this fear of success. I want to know what to do. When I realized that and I started to work with this person, she told me, okay, let's start to visualize that. Start to visualize what happened. And I started to visualize that. And you know, the first thing that when I started to see that giant in front of me in a chiropractor place, that is not exactly the place that you are thinking that you are going to be working this type of things. I started to see that giant in front of me. It was something like a smoke, not really something that you can touch. And it was very scary. And when she asked me, what are you going to do? I started to say like, okay, sit to one place, to the other, start to like go around or try to do something. No, you have to do something about it. You have to confront it. And I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter that. because it was like a cloud. I entered that, and what I saw when I entered that, and when I confronted all those fears, all those hesitation, all those things at the same time, what happened is I started to see that I was a light, and that light changed that blackness to whiteness. And she asked me, what do you see at your side? And yeah, I started to see like at my side, and I started to see like eagles around me. And I was like, why eagles? And she asked me, see below you. And what I saw that I was lying. So what I'm going to tell you right now is that thing that you started to think about in your life right now, about these 7 things that are stopping you to become the best version of yourself, are the ones that can give you the wings to fly, really. And that is going to help you to start to elevate yourself to new levels that you didn't imagine, that you don't know that you can reach, that you don't know that you can start to grow. Really, you need to start to step up and start to confront those fears. I don't know what do you have right now, what issue do you have right now, if it's imposter syndrome, if it's procrastination, if it's hesitation, if it's everything. But start to confront it, start to go in front of them and say, I am going to confront you because I am tired of being this person.
Yeah, amen. Yes, ready for transformation, ready to set those wings free.
And to change a little bit with that, because I know that we have only 4 minutes. In this, when we are talking about the magnet, in my business, I started to see like, okay, I am a magnet because I want to attract customers to my business. And I am always thinking about that. And if I am thinking that a customer is like another, like a little thing like this one, and I am here at this distance and I am saying like, I don't know what happens, but I can attract exactly the people that I want. And that is something that sometimes we are thinking like, yeah, I don't know, but I attract only bad people. And that is the reason I am like this. And I am not exactly growing or improving in my life. Yeah, what happened is you are near the people that you don't want to be, and you are far away from the people that you really want to be. So when you start to connect near, look, the law of attraction doesn't work at this distance. The law of attraction starts to work at this distance. And sometimes you're like, yeah, I am using everything. I am the magnet, I am moving, I am doing a lot of things. Yeah, you are doing all those things, but you are very far from your customer or the people that you want to attract, the company, the people, the things that you want to attract, anything that you are thinking, even when you don't have a business, but you are not attracting those because they are very far from you. When I started to see like, okay, that's great, Alejandro, I love that, but I want to attract other magnets, not only other customers. When I attract other magnets, look what happens. First, each other attract each other, so they connect better, much better. And this is the law of magnetism. And I prefer much more that one than the law of attraction. But even with that, for example, I connect with Mama Donna. And she's another magnet. And that's why you are here. And suddenly, we are 2 magnets. And you see, the attraction starts like from here. So attraction, just by connecting with Mama Donna and working with her right now, the attraction start to grow and start to be better. So that is the power of that. And these stealers, when they are huge in your life, and you know it, if the fear of success is too big, that is stopping you to become the person that you want, do you know what is happening? It's exactly the opposite. Instead of attracting, do you know what is happening? It's repelling. So I'm thinking like, oh, I am using the law of attraction, but I don't know why it's not working. I am trying to use the law of attraction with this magnetism and everything, but instead of attracting, they are repelling. And you are trying to be as near as possible because Alejandro told me that I have to be near them, and it's not working. You know why? Because they are repelling each other. So that is what happened with these stealers. They change your energy to a negative energy, and instead of attracting, you start to repel. So I believe we are in the last minute. I hope that, I don't know if there is some questions or time for questions, Mama Donna, but I wanted to give those things.
You know, I just want to say, if anybody wants to put questions in, this is a great time to do it. And it's that whole magnetic field. And when I see Yvonne and I see Sophia and Beverly, I see all you guys on this call live right now. And it's just like, I have like goosebumps. I wish you like could see like the hair, and it's hot here. I'm in Hawaii. I got goosebumps all over my body, just thinking about all you beautiful people being here. And we're here because it is that law of attraction, or that magnetic energy, that love and light that all of us are seeing beyond the shadows, beyond the darkness, and into the light. And just like Razel was saying earlier, you know, those self-doubt feelings, or those things that come in that 20% of the time, I hate myself, or life sucks. I mean, those are real things. But like with that magnet, we can repel that more and more all the time, the stronger the connections we have. And I just want to just thank you all for being here. And Alfonso, I always say her name. I'm so bad with names. Alfonso, such a beautiful name, all the way in New Mexico. I'm in Mexico, and coming up. And I wanted you all to know and just send special prayers and blessings. He has a young child who was in the hospital all day, and he just lost one of his favorite people, his grandfather, just the other day. And he shows up today to share his wisdom, his love, his light to all of us. And I just want to thank you so much. And I hope everybody is just pouring that love and light into you so you can feel that magnetic energy. My goosebumps are getting really big right now. I might have to go get a sweater on. But I just really encourage all of you to you can put his website in the chat. And if any of you want to reach out, she'll put also a Calendly link if you want to talk further about this topic. I really do like to keep these calls just to an hour. But Alejandro, if you could just leave us with some closing remarks here, just take us home. And then if anybody wants to hang out for a few minutes and see some magnetic, beautiful pineapples and cosmic flowers, I'll bring you outside and show you that. So take us home, baby.
For me is one thing that is key in everything, and just to give you an example, and I am talking from my heart exactly who I am and the thing that I have been doing and learning from this. But the way that you can grow your attraction and grow your magnetism is when you put your attention and intention in something. Mm-hmm. So if you have one problem that you want to solve, start to put the attention there and put an intention also, not only the attention. I have this problem that I say to myself that I have a fear of success. Okay, put the attention there, but put a good intention on that I am going to change that. I am going to start to become better. I am going to succeed in every area. I am going to visualize everything. So suddenly that thing that you are thinking that is bad, it's going to be the best thing that you can have. You know, all the fears for myself, that giant in front of me, was the one that elevated me to levels where I can start to see eagles. So that is exactly what is going to happen when you start to confront the issues and the things that you are not reaching. So thank you, Mama Donna. Thank you, everyone, for your love and everything. It was a tough week, but I know that I needed to be here, and I am happy to connect with you today.
And I am so, so grateful for you to connecting. And I want to just amplify that from conversations that Alejandro and I've had in the past, is there's such a bigger reason for all of us to show up. You know, it's good enough to want to be successful, but when we know that it's that higher good, and that's where those eagles come in, those flying, that purpose, whether it's God, universe, or whatever, or your children. for us to show up and be that best version, to put that fear aside, and to remember that freedom always lies on the other side of fear. And again, I want to thank you all so much for showing up. And next week, we have an incredible guest coming on as well, Hannah Roberts, who's a naturopath. And I can't wait for you to come with all your health questions. And she too thinks a lot like Alejandro and myself about moving through our health issues with those same 7 beautiful principles that we discussed here today. And again, I want to thank you so much, all of you. And we're going to end this here. And anybody who wants to head out to the garden with me to get a little extra dose of positivity, Alejandro, again, I want to thank you so much, and big, big love to all of you. And for everybody who's listening to this, yes, gratitude, and may your day be blessed with joy and happiness each and every day.